Hey everyone, welcome back to AndyDemos. Today I'd like to introduce you to Rorschach Devices out of St. Louis, and they're starting things off with their Apophenia Delay. Just a really solid, stripped down delay pedal, but with some really cool options. So let's check it out. The first thing you'll notice is Rorschach's unique LED light ring that surrounds the pedal, with labels on the knobs to make it super easy to dial in. The Apophenia's three-way filter and accompanying tone control is the place to dial in your favorite delay sounds. In the middle, you'll get full-range delay that can roll off as much high-end as you like without losing repeat strength. The filter in the up position gives you high pass, a sound that gradually rolls off low-end like a vintage tape delay. Finally, the low pass in the downward position rolls off high-end with every repeat, and the tone knob controls the transition to those darker sounds. Usually a delay pedal with trails gives you the option to turn it on or off, not how many repeats you get when you turn off the pedal. With the concentric knob, you get the normal repeat amount on the inner ring, while the outer ring selects the trails amount independently, anywhere from 1 repeat to infinite and self-oscillating. Plus you can choose 100% wet or dry with the mix control, and even get a lead boost with the master output level. The Apophenia is also equipped with top mount jacks, a buffered output, and the softest foot switch I've come across. For more information on the Apophenia and other hand-built effects, visit RorschachDevices.com. Let's start by checking out that three-way filter switch because it really sets this delay apart from others. The normal mode in the center gives you a nice full sound, and you could still use the tone knob to tame some high end. Meanwhile, in the up position you have high pass and the bottom is low pass. So you get a wide range just right there with that normal mode. Let's go up to high pass and see how it really affects the low end as the repeats carry out. So in this mode, the tone control is a little bit different. It controls how quickly that low end is going to roll off and how quickly the brightness is going to set in. So this is a great way to just fine tune this mode. I found that this one is really close to my old Echoplex. So let's try this with a classic slapback and then really increase the feedback and see what happens. And here's low pass, and the tone control is going to affect how quickly it gets dark and murky, like a classic analog delay. So cranked up, that tone control really just goes instantly to a dark and murky sound. So this is great if you want a real nice contrast between the guitar's dry signal and the delayed signal. Let's try this with a little bit of overdrive in front. So with that same amount of overdrive, let's switch back to normal mode and see how it really is a different feel compared to those darker repeats that kind of set back in the mix. So that should tell you that, even if you have a darker sound in the normal mode, it's not going to behave the same way as the low pass filter, especially when you have that tone control increased and the repeats just instantly go to a darker sound. So there's a lot of settings to play with here, and there's not a lot of overlap between these three different filter sounds. And it's a good time to probably show you that the trails can actually have more or less repeats than when you have the effect on. So here's a great example of that. I have about 3 or 4 repeats when you're playing the pedal, and then when I switch it off, you're actually going to hear it fade out and extend those repeats. It gives you a lot more space to pad out those transitions. So let's go the other way and use quite a bit of repeats, almost at the point of self-oscillation, this time in the low pass mode, and then I'll just set it to a normal trails function like you hear in other pedals, where it kind of fades out gradually, about 5 or 6 repeats. Next, let's check out the output of the Apophenia. You could actually keep the mix 50-50 and just crank up the output to hear both wet and dry increase in volume. Or here's a cool trick for kind of a solo boost where you just want the dry signal to really take the lead, so to speak. And you could back off on the mix and crank up the output. So basically, the dry signal is going to get louder, but the wet signal is pretty much going to stay the same. And finally, I want to show you a long delay setting, and here's where the low pass filter can come in really handy. The second or third repeat is already going to get a lot darker, and we're not going to be fighting with a lot of bandwidth here, so the amp is going to be happy. Well, there's your look at the Apophenia Delay. Just a great solid delay pedal with a lot of choices as far as voicings and a lot of dynamics too, especially with that tails feature. And you can check it out at RorschachDevices.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you for another Andy demo.